Hey everybody, it's Galmadex and welcome back to another War of the Spark Premier Draft. We've opened up a pretty nice rare today. It is quite expensive, but for 7 mana you are getting quite a bit of bang for your buck. You get to choose 4 different abilities. You can use actually the same ability more than once if you want, but you get to create a 2/2 creature that is all colors, return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand, proliferate, or gain 4 life. You get to use these abilities in any combination, whatever is best at the time. Generally, 7 mana for 4 2/2s is already pretty good, and you have the versatility of doing whatever you need at the time. Sometimes proliferate's going to be insane, sometimes you just need to gain a bunch of life, and sometimes you can just draw a bunch of cards off of this by bringing a bunch of your previous permanents from your graveyard back to your hand. So I think Plaidwine Celebration is a pretty powerful rare here, and we will scoop it up. I think the next best card in this pack is probably Spark Harvest, maybe Nahiri, since Nahiri could kill multiple creatures, although only dealing damage to tapped creatures. Means she can't kill just everything. So out of this pack, we again have several pretty powerful options. I think I want to roll with Narset. Blue-green proliferate is a pretty powerful strategy you can end up in, and obviously Plain-Wide Celebration, being able to proliferate several times, could be good in that strategy. Also, Narset drawing you non-creature, non-land cards can draw us into our powerful bomb, Plain-Wide Celebration, and she's just a powerful card in the first place. There's also Toll of the Invasion, which I do like quite a bit. Being able to peek at your opponent's hand, make them discard their best card, and get a creature out of the deal is quite nice. Spellgorger Weird is one of the best creatures in red. Just gets pretty big pretty quickly in this format, because obviously not only does it get bigger for your instants and sorceries, but your planeswalkers as well, and most decks are going to have some planeswalkers. I think I will go with Narset here. I think she's just the strongest card.
If you wish to surrender now, I understand.
Now we have another pretty great blue card, Callous Dismissal here. Essentially 2 mana for a 1/1 that bounces one of your opponent's non-land permanents, or if you already have a zombie army, you just get a +1/+1 counter on it, but all of that for only 2 mana is quite good. I do like that a lot. Erratic Visionary is a card that has impressed me. It is pretty great in the late game, filtering through any mana flood that you hit to get you some better cards, so I do like this, but I don't want to take it this early. Centaur Nurture could help us ramp into Plain-Wide Celebration, although I don't think that is particularly necessary. But that would be a possible choice. Definitely not Primordial Worm. These large creatures are pretty replaceable. And if we're taking something in a different color, I guess we could take Pyrohelix for a red-blue spells deck, or Eternal Taskmaster is probably my favorite of the off-color cards. Just being able to potentially return a good creature back from your grave to your hand can be pretty good. And I don't really like the green cards here, and even the blue cards aren't particularly exciting. It's got multiple good black cards and one pretty solid white card here. We have Spark Reaper, 3 mana for a 2/3, allowing you to sacrifice creatures or planeswalkers to gain a life and draw a card. This is great with any uncommon planeswalkers if you don't have Proliferate in your deck, because eventually they'll get to the point where they have a low enough loyalty, no way to add counters to them, no way to get any value anyway, so you might as well just draw a card off of them. And this is great with amass cards like Callous Dismissal, so I think Spark Reaper does combo well with our 2 blue cards already for a blue-black deck. I think Dread Malkin does as well. A menace creature that can get really big with counters does the same kind of sacrifice effect. I think it's one of these two. I don't really want to take Trusted Pegasus here. I think I'll go with Dread Malkin just because it is a higher rarity, probably a card we'll see less often, get less chances to pick up. Again, not the most exciting stuff in green. Nothing in blue here. Teferi's Time Twist isn't a card that excites me that much. I suppose it is quite good if your opponent tries to use a removal spell on one of your cards. You get to exile it and then bring it back bigger than ever. So that could be good in that situation. So it might be fine. There's also Guild Globe, which does help in splashing things. The fact that this draws you a card means it does replace itself, and so it doesn't really cost you a card to help you fix with this. I kind of do like Guild Globe, although our powerful bomb is double green, so I don't know how well we'd really be able to splash here. If we're splashing that, wow, and a Parhelion 2. Obviously a ton of mana, but if you ever get to crew this and attack with it, you just win immediately. attacking with a 5/5 flying first strike vigilance and getting 2 4/4 white angels flying and attacking as well. It's not the hardest thing in the world to crew at crew 4. Again, attack with it a single time and you win. I guess there is Spark Reaper, which would be good for that blue-black deck, but Parhelion here is kind of exciting. But I suppose it is a ton of mana, and it's off color for us here, so probably not the pick. Sorry for the lack of audio for a sec. I'm doing a little something real quick. Another Spark Reaper, that's a pretty easy pick. This is definitely going to be better than Finisher in our color scheme, I think, but Finisher would be fine as well. Again, with the 1/1 amass cards, being able to trade up into anything, finish off anything is good. I guess with Spark Reaper and Dreadmalkin, we already have 2 good sacrifice outlets for that blue-black deck, so maybe we do take Finisher. I don't know, I think Spark Reaper is generally a bit better than Finisher. I guess not a whole ton. No, I'm going to go just with another Spark Reaper, even though it may be a bit redundant. Now we have Chasmata's Transmutation, I suppose. Does basically shut a creature off, turns it into a 1/1 with no abilities. That seems fine. I think that, or like Teferi's Time Twist. Not a big fan of the Iron Bully. Alright. And now we are down to cards in colors that we're not playing. No cards in our sideboard yet. I think green's probably been cut pretty hard. Everything we're seeing in green has just been mediocre, high mana cost cards. So I don't think the plain white celebration's really happening here. We'll probably just take one of these white cards in case we get pushed in. Lynx or Battalion, just one of these random aggressive cards. If we get pushed in that direction. We can run a Vampire Opportunist if we need more 2-mana creatures, so I think we'll take that here. Not a big fan of Shadow Fugue. There are just better discard spells in black in this set. Mainly the 3-mana Amass 1 discard spell that is quite good. Charity Extractor can be good in a slower, more controlling deck with a lot of Planeswalkers to defend, so I think this might be a Charity Extractor deck. We already have Narset. We could try to lean in on that and maybe pick up some more Planeswalkers, like Ashiok would go well into this sort of deck if we ever see one of them. Now, random big creature at the top end of the curve and to topple the statue we're just not going to play. What do we have here? Nothing good at all, really. I guess the best card here is the Elite Guard Mage. We do already have a Guild Globe to help splash things. That makes splashing a card like Elite Guard Mage very easy. And this is a powerful card. 4 mana for a 2/3 flyer. You gain 3 life and draw a card. Very easy to be up a card with this, because you usually play this, gain some life, draw a card, and they're going to have to deal with it with some form of removal. Otherwise, you just have a solid evasive threat that's not that bad of a blocker either. So I do like the Elite Guard Mage here. I think that might be the pick. Solar Blaze is a Wrath effect, but it's a situational Wrath. Like, if we're playing against a deck like ours, it's not going to be good because Spark Reaper and Charity Extractor is also very off-color. It's just a very mild consideration just because, like, Guild Globe, if we get a bunch of those, we could maybe play it. But yeah, I don't think that's it. I think it's just going to be Guard Mage. Yeah, these white cards are not strong enough to want to splash either of these either, so I'll just leave them in the sideboard for now. Definitely not strong enough to want to be like white-blue as our core, splashing black or anything like that. Multiple pretty great options for us out of this pack. We have Aven Eternal, the nice evasive threat, a 2/2 flyer that also amasses 1, giving you something on the ground. Tyrant Scorn, good cheap removal spell. Doesn't kill everything you want it to because it only kills stuff that costs 3 or less, but if it's too big to die to this, then you can bounce it to hand, so Tyrant Scorn's pretty good. Jace's Triumph is pretty good, the draw 2 or maybe draw 3 if you somehow have a Jace. Just 3 mana draw 2. Lazotep Reaver, another good creature. I think if we're taking a creature, we're probably taking the evasive threat. That's also just a nice 3 mana card. I do like Aven Eternal a lot here. I think it's that or Tyrant's Scorn would be my choice. We already have some draw power with Spark Reapers and Narset. Don't have a lot of removal though, but I also don't have a lot of like threatening creatures. So Tyrant Scorn or Aven Eternal. I am going to go with the Aven Eternal there, but there's definitely an argument towards the Tyrant Scorn. And now again with the somewhat lack of removal here, we are going to take a Bleeding Edge. It doesn't kill everything, but it is quite solid when it does kill something. Usually just killing like a 2-2, a 3-2 if you're lucky, but doing that and leaving a 2-2 behind is quite good, so I do like Bleeding Edge a lot, and I'm going to scoop it up here. Definitely like it better than the Soren's Thirst, which is just another removal spell here, and we basically be taking this, or Spark Reaper, or Spellkeeper Weird. I think it's definitely the best of those. Could splash in a Bioessence Hydra, we just need a single green to cast that, so... Again, another card that's very easy to splash in off of a Guild Globe. 4/4 Trample. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 for each loyalty on our Planeswalkers, and when we play more Planeswalkers, it gets more counters. I am already wanting to pick up basically every Planeswalker I see, if I can get them, and this might be a fine card to try to splash in. I don't think there's anything in our colors that's particularly good. We have just some mediocre 2-mana creatures here, so we might as well try to splash in Hydra, even if we don't end up playing it. We're not losing out on a lot. I think actually the best card we'd be losing out on is the Silverwing here. We could run that in here, just have more flyers. Definitely not missing a ton there. Kiora does work well for like walling stuff off and then having another Planeswalker, but we don't have any creatures that let us draw cards off of her. We just have Lazotep Behemoth and Bioessence Hydra. So it's going to be hard to trigger her, but at the same time with Flux Channeler, which is a card I would really like if we do live the dream and get to wall things off and have a bunch of Planeswalkers on board. We need Planeswalkers for this to be good, or we need a lot of things to proliferate onto, and right now we would just have a zombie army and one Planeswalker. So I think I actually have to take Kiora first over the Flux Channeler type cards, although I'd like to get those later.
I defy gods. Defying you will be easy.
I'm taking Kiora because I think that Kiora is going to be easier to draft around than the Flux Channeler is, because with Kiora now we can just pick up some random Dam Breakers or some more random Behemoths, and then Kiora is going to be pretty good. Whereas Flux Channeler, it's like we have to get really lucky to see more Planeswalkers to play around with, whereas we don't have to get that lucky to just see more random, large, mediocre creatures. Now we have Duskmantle Operative or Elder Spell. Elder Spell, it doesn't do anything in the wrong matchup, but when you're in the right matchup, it can be quite good. Duskmantle Operative I'm not super pumped about, so I'll just pick up the Elder Spell. Worst case scenario, we got some gems there and we throw that in the sideboard. Scythe Eater Strix should be fine in this deck. It gives us an evasive threats, can pick off some Planeswalkers with this, chip away for a couple points of damage, and gives us another 2-mana creature. It's that or the Saheeli's Silverwing. I think I'll go with the Strix over that, but either would be fine. Neither would be particularly exciting either. Now we can take a Lazotep Behemoth to have another power 4 or greater creature for our Kiora. Take another Charity Extractor or a Silverwing. I guess I'll go with a Silverwing here. I think that's probably better. Dreadhorde Butcher wheeled all the way around, so I guess nobody's in the Rakdos aggro deck. We're definitely not, so we're not going to play that. We'd be splashing it, and it's not the card you want to splash. It's the kind of card you need to be playing in the very early game for it to be good. That being said, I don't really want to play either of these, a Crush Descent or a Stealth Mission, so taking it for Jim seems not that bad. And I don't want to play any of these cards either. I guess we're the closest to maybe a Thundering Ceratok. Go with Kiora if we do splash in more green. Not super likely, but maybe we do end up trying to play Plane-Wide Celebration, splashing in more green than we have right now. Chasmina's Transmutation, we can definitely run that. Not the most exciting removal ever, but we can deal with it. So now we have a Dread Malkin, another good sacrifice outlet. A Herald of the Dreadhorde. Or a Silverwing. Yeah, I think these other cards are pretty mediocre. I'll just take a Dread Malkin here. Not a great start to pack 3, not the most exciting pack to open up there. Soul Diviner and Eternal Skylord are both excellent, as is Vraska. Oh no. As is Thunderdrake, really. but I think we're taking an uncommon or a rare over those. So Soul Diviner, great with Amass, removing counters from stuff, drawing cards. Great with our Planeswalkers like Narset, removing counters from her, drawing cards. Can potentially draw a card every turn. Diviner can be great. Eternal Skylord, obviously incredible with Amass, turning your zombie army into just a massive threat in the sky. Vraska's just incredible with other stuff that cares about Planeswalkers. I don't foresee any of these wheeling, but I think the most likely wheel would be Soul Diviner, just because you have to be blue and black to play it, so it's between Vraska and Skylord. Yeah, I'll take Vraska. We do have the Bioessence Hydra, so we are trying to get a high number of Planeswalkers. So yeah, I'll go with Vraska here. Getting 2 1/1 Death Touchers for 4 is pretty great. And obviously, if you get any Proliferate or anything going, you can get potentially more than that. Do like Aven Eternal and Toll of the Invasion here. I think I am going for kind of an evasive deck here. I'll take the Aven Eternal. And now I'll take a Toll of the Invasion, although Tidebearer Giant is pretty good with Kiora. It gives us a 4-power creature to play. That's actually pretty good even if we don't have Kiora on the field. So that's pretty great, but there's Toll of the Invasion. There's also Callous Dismissal. This pack's actually just excellent again. The direction that we're getting passed from, our colors are pretty open, I feel. I like Toll of the Invasion, Callous Dismissal a lot in pretty much any deck, and because we have Kiora, I do like Tidebearer Giant here. Just like a lot of this stuff. I guess a lot of our 2-drops aren't actually things that we want to play, so I'm going to throw Callous Dismissal in here so I can actually cut like Elder Spell and maybe some transmutations as things go on. Can't really splash double green. Unfortunately, Guild Globe adds 2 mana of different colors, so I can't just double green off of Guild Globe, so Arlen is pretty hard to cast, although we do have hybrid green costs on Kiora and Vraska, so that makes the green splash easier. And then we could try to play Plane-Wide Celebration if we do end up splashing green. Yeah, I'm not missing a ton by missing out on another Charity Extractor. So, just in case we can get that green splash going, I will take an Arlen there. And New Horizons, awkwardly, doesn't actually really help us splash in green, because if the card in your splash color is just helping you mana fix, then you already have drawn your splash color anyway. I guess this helps us if we're stuck on green in our hand. But yeah, I think we just take a Herald here. We could start scooping up New Horizons, though, and just going for a full 3-color here. Not splashing. That might be too bold, but New Horizons is pretty great with Kiora as well. We'll see how things pan out here. Yeah, if we just get 2 New Horizons at the very end here, I think we can go for it. Just go for full Sultai, probably not running Guard Mage at that rate. Just use all of our mana fixing to help cast our green stuff. Visionary or Crawlstinger here's a bit of a hard choice. I guess, yeah, we are much more in blue than green, so we'll take the card that we can cast a lot more often. And now we're taking a bunch of garbage I'm not playing. I guess I probably should have taken Opportunist there just in case I wanted that as another 2-drop, but I don't think that'll happen. Don't think that's a thing I'm going to want. Just trying to slow the game down enough to play some of our big bomby stuff, I think, with this deck. And double Callous Dismissal will help with that a lot. Probably not running this Naga Eternal. We did pick up a lot of rares, so we got 80 gems at the end there, as well as, I'm sure, some rares that I didn't have 4 copies of yet. So we need to cut 6 cards here. I think we are wanting to try to do the full Sultai. Is there a way, is there anything in our sideboard that we can play? There's not a single blue card in our sideboard, so we can't cut down on the black to add more blue. We could cut down on it to add more green, try to make blue-green the core and splash in black. Don't think that we'll have a great time doing that, but we'll see what we can do about that. I can cut 8 cards here. Maybe that will pan out. We're not going to have a lot of creatures in this deck, but I don't think it's the kind of deck that is going to need a lot of creatures if we do cut a ton of black cards, because then we're just using all of our tempo stuff to slow them down. Callous Dismissal, slow them down. Transmutations to just kill their biggest things. Bleeding Edge really slows him down. Lots of draw spells like Narset to hit our other powerful cards. Yeah, so if we're cutting down on black a lot, the deck kind of looks like this. Bleeding Edge is a bit hard to cast being double black, but with double New Horizons, that does help a lot, because a single New Horizons means we can cast Bleeding Edge. I think we are definitely keeping the Guild Globe in here. Our mana costs are pretty difficult. So now this would be, I just cut a stack of creatures. So yeah, we're down to 11 creatures here, although we do have three amass cards. So that's like 14 creatures. Arlen makes creatures and Vraska makes creatures. That's kind of 16 creatures. So we could cut a creature here still, I think. That might be the choice. I think Narset is going to be pretty excellent in this deck, especially if we don't cut any more non-creature cards. And if we cut a creature here, probably want to cut another black card. Just cut a Spark Reaper. Although that is solid here. Maybe we cut one of the random larger green dorks, but they are good with Kiora. They are the only things we have to work with her. We only have 3 different cards that trigger her. Yeah, I kind of don't want to cut any of the 4 power or more creatures for the Kiora. I mean, Naga Eternal is our weakest creature, but it's also in our most represented color. So it's like the easiest to cast because we're going to have the most blue sources than anything. I mean, I could see cutting a Naga Eternal still, though. And with double New Horizons and a Guild Globe, I'm hoping we can cut down 1 more black mana and add in 1 more forest. Because we definitely want to be able to cast New Horizons just all the time. We do really need a lot of blue sources because every 2 mana card we have is blue. And a lot of our 3 mana stuff, I guess a couple black cards at 3 mana as well, which could be difficult off of just 5 sources, 3 swamps and 2 New Horizons. Yeah, I suppose I don't need the green mana until late game. The first time I need green mana is for New Horizons, and then after that, the next time that I need specifically green mana is at 5. No, the auto suggester is probably right. Cut another forest, add in another swamp so that we can try to consistently, or at least more consistently, cast our Spark Reapers sometime early. Pretty difficult mana base here doing the 3-color thing, but I think that it's worth it. I mean, we have so many powerful green cards, Plane-Wide Celebration and Arlen being the biggest ones, but even just the small amount of green that is on Bioessence Hydra, I think this card will be very strong in this deck. Well, we'll see how this pans out. This could really blow up in our faces, but no matter what, it's going to be a fun deck to run. An interesting pile, for sure. As always, links in the description to each round if you want to skip through the waiting times like this. And here we are. Round 1. Let's go. This is not great. We have a lot of green going on here. We do need to draw only 1 land to be able to do multiple things. Then we can cast Aven Eternal and Kiora. If we specifically draw a forest, we're in for a good time. But if we don't draw any lands, we will just lose. And if we only draw like an island or a swamp, we're not going to have a great time. I think I will mulligan that. This is better, but still not great. I think I get rid of Kiora here because she doesn't actually really help us with anything, whereas Silverwing is going to be a pretty solid creature. And we're pretty low on creatures here. We just have a 1/1 amass if I get rid of Silverwing. It also helps the curve. It lets us go for a 2 mana card turn 2, 3 mana turn 3, and 4 mana turn 4. And our opponent is starting off with a Wall of Runes. I suppose, yeah, Callous Dismissal isn't the kind of card that we always want to play on turn 2 anyway, though. Like, I'm definitely not going to cast it against a defender. We'll wait till they have something that threatens us for some damage. Alright. New Horizons is not a great draw. Narset is going to take one from Erratic Visionary here, but against a blue-white deck, shutting them off from drawing any cards these next couple turns is going to be pretty good.
Meditate and prepare.
I like Bleeding Edge, but I do need another black for that. Guild Globe is nice with Bioessence and New Horizons. I think we're actually supposed to just pick up that Guild Globe. I think Erratic Visionary is going to come for Narset here, because then if we minus Narset again, then she'll die, and they don't have to worry about being unable to draw cards. Teo the Shield Mage, so
glad to meet you.
our opponent is going to have quite
Talk to
the
the
defense set up, that is for sure.
You cannot see your folly.
Play Guild Globe, hope to draw an untapped source. Or do I even Eternal here? Do I pop Narset or just hold her to stop them from drawing? Countering Tamiyo's Epiphany and stuff does seem really good if they try to go for any of that. Yeah, Even Eternal seems fine. I think against this kind of deck we probably have the time to sit here for a moment. I mean, they've played a Defender and then a Planeswalker that makes more Defenders. So I think we have the time to set up our green plays. We don't have to just go for it immediately. A pass turn here. Now we do have 4 mana, so I can cast a Saheeli's Silverwing, or set up the Guild Globe for if I do draw my 5th land, then I can get a Bioessence Hydra out. I think I'll just go for the Silverwing here. They didn't play anything that turn, so I expect that they may... Yeah, I was going to say, I suspect that they may have a counterspell, and it's much better to draw that out on the Silverwing than get our Bioessence Hydra countered, I think. I'm not going to attack here, because I don't want to chump block the Visionary with a 1-1, but I do want to block if they attack Narset. This does not feel like a game where we're supposed to get aggressive. It just doesn't feel like a deck where we're supposed to get aggressive. Might dismissal that Pegasus to hold them off for a moment. Although there is the green source, so I could play Bioessence Hydra right now. That seems solid to me. I think I play Bioessence Hydra right now, except that that Narset's going to die, because they can ping her for 2 with their flyer. And because she's going to die, we'll use her for value again.
Hone your prowess.
Drawing an Arlen, that seems pretty great. So definitely Narset has done some great things here. We are going to hold off with our Aven Eternal yet again, so I can trade it off for that Trusted Pegasus if they want to attack in and get in with something else here. But Bioessence Hydra, if they don't have any removal here, is obviously going to be large enough to just start slamming in even through all of their walls. There is the Tamiyo's Epiphany that Narset was holding off. Definitely showing off that this was definitely the best matchup for the Narset. The early hit that they got off on her from Erratic Visionary was pretty good. Because if she still had 1 loyalty here and we're just chilling, we'd be in a pretty fantastic spot. As it stands, I think I'm going to drop a Guild Globe, hope for our 6th mana. When we get our 6th mana, I can just sacrifice Guild Globe and cast an Arlen. So I'll drop a Guild Globe, see what we draw, and depending on what we draw, that'll affect our play here. So we know we get to cast Arlen next turn. Do I want to New Horizons here, or do I want to dismiss the Pegasus? If I cast a New Horizons, I do get to make my Aven Eternal a 3/3, which means I get to attack Teo and just kill Teo because they're not going to chump block with their trusted Pegasus. That seems pretty fine. I think that's probably better than a Callous Dismissal. Callous Dismissal to get the Pegasus out of the way does let us just like hit Teo for 2 or just hit their face for 2, and it slows them down, makes them recast Pegasus, but Pegasus isn't doing anything scary here. It gives one other creature flying. Their best creature is just a 1/3. See, I think I'm on the New Horizons plan here, and we'll throw it on our fresh new island here, so we could potentially do both New Horizons and Callous Dismissal if we really need to, or want to. But the fact this makes Aven Eternal a 3/3 flyer means we don't need to get anything out of the way, so I think I'd rather hold on to the dismissals for potentially bigger threats. And we're not holding anything back because we don't have any planeswalkers to defend, and we're at 20 life, so have at. They've only got 3 power on their board.
I hope to serve you again.
You know, maybe because we have double Callous Dismissal, just because we have 2 of them, maybe we should have bounced the Pegasus main phase 2, just to like kind of choke them on their mana. Because we're not going to be able to do it this next turn, because we're going to need all of our mana to cast Arlen. Yeah, I don't know about that, because like, you know, they're still just attacking us anyways, like we'll be fine. I suppose problem is they can attack Arlen using Trusted Pegasus, but we can bounce our own Arlen if they hit her too hard here and just get more things out of her. They'll hit her for 3, put her down to 2, then I can't do it again unless I hold Aven Eternal back. I'll hold Aven Eternal back. Well, proliferating would be pretty insane here. Okay. So's got Eternal Catcher, one of the best bombs in the entire set. Double strike, and whenever they cast another creature spell, they get a 4/4 Vigilance. Obviously, we can't
Go, my children.
can't just let our opponent play around with that forever. So we're gonna Callous Dismissal that this turn, that's for sure. Do we New Horizons and make our Aven Eternal even bigger here? We might actually make a Wolf of 4/4 so we can attack with something on the ground as well. Start chipping away at those creatures, and if we chip away enough of them, we can start attacking with all of our wolves. Yeah, it seems solid. We have to Callous Dismissal basically right now, so that we can actually attack in. And that does make all of our ground creatures big enough to not die. So that's pretty good. Yes, we can send in the all attack. I mean, they just block our 2/2 with a 0/3. It's kind of whatever. Or 0/4. But chip away for some damage here. They can go for Arlen, but we're going to have another flyer here so that she doesn't die. Just block the 1/3 if they attack Arlen with both. But I guess we don't... If we're not using Arlen's minus again, we don't need to keep her on board. So all they have to do is attack her with Trusted Pegasus, and they effectively kill one of our wolves by doing that. Because her static ability actually just doesn't matter. It's only really to work with her minus ability in our deck. Definitely more of a constructed worthy static ability. They just recast God Eternal Loketra, obviously we're just going to kill it again. They're going to Wanderer Strike our werewolf there. Alright, so we have a turn off from dealing with the God Eternal. Ooh, nice, and they're not even going to go after Arlen because they want to hold back blockers so they don't just die in the sky. I'm feeling pretty good now. They only have double white, so if I bounce Trusted Pegasus, they have to choose between recasting Pegasus or casting God Eternal Oketra unless they have another white source in hand or draw into one. That seems pretty fine. We get in for 5 guaranteed in the sky that way, and it removes 2 power from their board. So everything else is good to attack in. They also turns my zombie army into a 3/3, which is pretty big. So that's I attack with both of these, and only one of them can get blocked. The other one actually kills a visionary. So we get to slam that all attack button and definitely accomplish something with our ground creatures as well. Of course, the awkward thing about this is we have ran out of ways to postpone their God Eternal Oketra, so if they get it on the board again, it is permanently there, but they're down to 6 life, and our board is quite wide. We only have to hit them with 2 of our 3-power creatures, of which we have 4, so they need to play multiple creatures here. If they hit the white source, we're in some trouble here, because they have 7 mana, so if they play a Plains, they'll have 8 mana total. That's enough mana to cast God Eternal Oketra and follow it up with a Trusted Pegasus. Of course, they did not draw the next white source, so they're going to play an Aven Eternal and something else here, probably. Ooh, nothing yet means almost definitely removal. 4 mana available to them in white-blue. Maybe it's a counterspell, probably not. Definitely don't want to be drawing lands right now, that's not great. I think we still slam an all attack here. Except maybe not the Sky Theater Strix. Sky Theater Strix would be like fine for a bluff, but they have 3 blockers here, so they go block, 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 take 4. It's not even gonna lethal unless they just really block like nothing. I don't think we sent in the Strix. See what they have at instant speed here. Topple the statue, tap down the Aven Eternal for a turn. Get a little bit of breathing room there. Attack with all these. Maybe they double block a 3/3 and take 3, go to 3 life. Seems risky. I don't think I let them just kill Sky Theater Strix here, though. Because then they could just block everything. Kill a Strix, and I guess... Yeah, if they want to kill Strix, then that gets in 3 damage, but yeah, so does the double block here, and this also clears out 2 of their creatures. I think we're fine either way, but attacking in the Strix does guarantee we hit them for 3, because they're probably blocking with that 1/2, or blocking the 1/2 with their 2/2. They didn't draw another white source. That is a fantastic sign for us. That might just mean they can't play enough creatures here to survive. If they can only cast 1 creature, that's it. And they can only cast 1 creature. They can only cast God Eternal Oketra because she costs double white, or only the Pegasus because, again, God Eternal costs double white. They don't have enough white mana to cast both of those in 1 turn. Whew. That was a scary game. God Eternal Oketra, definitely a pretty terrifying card. But really got there with Arlen. The power of going wide with just like several 3/3s is great. Especially, I think the New Horizons play panned out very well as well, making our ground creatures big enough that we could actually start chipping away at their large defenders, so that eventually we'd get to a point where our ground creatures mattered. I think that was really important to do, especially when we had an Arlen coming up, just giving us more ground creatures. I'll keep this because it has all our colors, although it isn't particularly exciting. It can attempt to survive for a while, and that's good, because if we do survive for a while, maybe we draw into some of our bomby stuff, and that is how we try to win with this deck. Lazotep Reaver starting the game off from our opponent's side of the board. A 1/2 and a 1/1 amassed out of it. I do not want a transmutation anything. I can turn their 1/2 and a 1/1 into a 1/1, or their 1/1 into a 2/2. Obviously, that would be very bad to do. They have a blast zone that we should always be cognizant of. They can add more counters to this and then blow up everything that costs 1 specific mana cost, so important to keep in mind, I suppose. Definitely want to get some creatures out to actually block before I dump a Narset on this board. And it doesn't take creatures that are that big to stop a Lazotep Reaver, so we'll start things off with a Spark Reaper. Another mana geode from our opponent, so they have 2 mana of any color available to them now, 5 mana total. They can cast most things at this point, from every turn from now on. Got 2 mana of any color available to them right now, so they could even just dump something mildly threatening on us now. I think, again, I'm just going to keep ramping out my creatures. Just drop another 2/3 blocker. Solid blocker against their stuff. That was a pretty good card to see on top of their deck, Divine Arrow. That's a good card to know about. So we know they have Divine Arrow to deal 4 to an attacking or blocking creature, so we can keep that in mind and not get surprised by it. Well, if they want to use it immediately on one of these creatures, I think that's fine. These are pretty small. Just get rid of their removal spell, get it out of the way. Alright. I'm just going to use 2 removal spells. Okay then. That's definitely worse for us. We don't have any more creatures to protect a Narset with. I think I'll cast a Guild Globe here. Hope to draw into something pretty good. Aven Eternal is pretty good. That blocks Lazatep Reaver and the 1/1 trades with their 1/1. Yeah, that's solid. Obviously, if we didn't draw into anything there, we would have probably had our hand forced and have to dump out a Narset just to draw 1 card out of our top 4. But then, Narset obviously does get killed by these. Or if she gets attacked for 2, goes down to 1 loyalty, so essentially killed, stops the ability from going off for the rest of the game. Opponent's on just mono removal over there. Just black-white removal, I suppose. So I don't think any of our creatures are going to last, which is unfortunate. 1/1 gets to chump block once. I think we do go for the Narset at this point. We don't really have any other option. We've got a lot of lands going on right now.
I have just the trick for this.
New Horizons and Kiora. Neither of these are good right now. Kiora does untap stuff, which might matter. I think New Horizons just really doesn't matter. We can turn our 1/1 into a 2/2 with New Horizons. But Kiora can also maybe draw some cards, and that seems more important.
I hope you don't mind if I take my octopus for a walk.
Attack Narset with both. I think we go for the chump block so we can use Narset one more time. Really need to draw cards here. We are flailing in terms of card advantage. Our opponent's drawn 3 lands and we've drawn 8. So our opponent's up 5 cards essentially just because of the amount of lands they've drawn versus us. Alright, up 4 cards. I guess 2 of those cards have been mana geodes, which are sort of just lands. So it's not that bad. I am over-exaggerating a little bit. But our opponent's definitely up cards. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to sacrifice Kiora here because Kiora just doesn't guarantee us a card draw. Narset does. I guess neither guarantees us a card draw, but Narset if we have any non-creature in our top 4, and we have a lot. Whereas Kiora if we have one of our power 4 of greater creatures, which we don't have a lot. We have like 3 of those. So we got to get rid of Kiora here, I think. Aven Eternal. We do get rid of Narset here.
Keep an open mind.
Some Callous Dismissals, Erratic Visionary, and Spark Reaper. None of our real big cards here, but we do get to kill their zombie army, which seems solid. And then make ours even bigger by playing an Aven Eternal. So we have a 2/2 flyer and a 2/2 on the ground here. And so our 2/2 on the ground can block Lazatep Reaver, and our 2/2 flyer probably draws a removal spell. Potentially they just sacrifice their Blast Zone to kill it. Our opponent has so many removal spells in their deck, even their land is a removal spell. They definitely went for the removal tribal. It is absolutely a strategy you can do in every limited format, and it will pay off if you can get the removal spells. That'll do it. Blast Zone at 3. So they can sacrifice the Blast Zone, kill Avid Turtle with that. Tidebearer Giant, well, we finally have a target for Chasmina's Transmutation, if nothing else. Plane-wide Celebration. We have drawn into one of our bombs, but it's not super good here. Actually, it is, because I can return Narset and Kiora to our hand and make 2 2/2s. That's actually pretty exceptional. They are 3 drops as well, though, so then our opponent Blast Zones all our Planeswalkers away too, which is kind of rough. Kind of want to hold off on it. Maybe they pop Blast Zone for just the Aven Eternal. Probably not. But yeah, we could return our 2 Planeswalkers to our hand and get 2 2/2s. Or just return Narset and get 3 2/2s. I don't think we're proliferating right now with just a 2/2 out. Or really gaining life when we're at 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could... Oh wait, no, we only have... Yeah, 6 total, so I can't play it even if I play the land, so... I guess the big issue with not just immediately playing Plane-Wide Celebration is if our opponent has a Toll the Invasion? I don't remember. One of those. We're pretty screwed. Parhelion 2. That is the card I was talking about during the draft. If they attack with it once, we lose just on the spot. It only takes 4 to crew. They have 2 power right now. The problem is they can crew it just immediately. Whatever they do. Can this destroy artifacts or enchantments? No, can't destroy anything. We can Callous Dismissal that? No, I can't return non-permanents. Alright, well, now's the time to get real worried, but we're casting Plane-Wide Celebration here. Return Narset, get a couple 2/2s, then do I return Cure or do I just get another 2/2? I think I just get another 2/2. We gotta just get as aggressive as possible. We need to keep them off of 4 power from crewing Parhelion 2. The problem is if they have like any creature in the game, it's likely to be enough to crew Parhelion immediately. Single combat. Each player chooses 1 creature or planeswalker they control and then sacrifice the rest. And I can't cast creatures or planeswalkers and then they can't cast creatures or planeswalkers. Okay, so they have like a Wrath too. Kind of living the dream. Down to 11 now. They need a 3 power or greater creature to crew the Parhelion now. Obviously, Blast Zone can kill both Aven Eternal and Narset, which is a bit of a downside to keeping Aven Eternal. Maybe I should not have done that. If I play Narset, they're going to blow it up immediately, but I also get to try to draw an Arlen or something. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 10 once I play this land, so 3 for Narset. I have 7 left. So I could Narset and immediately cast an Arlen, so I think it's worth the cast here. Even though they are probably going to blow her up immediately. Probably should have went to combat first. No, I definitely should have went to combat first. Wow, well, I'm glad to get those 3 lands out of the way, but we are drawing straight doo-doo for a while. I guess we were drawing straight doo-doo for a while without her. This was a pretty big miss. Missing out on 2 damage here could definitely cost us the game. Because now they get to Blast Zone, kill the Aven Eternal and Narset before it damages them. So I absolutely should have cast Narset main phase 2.
I shall miss your company.
Obviously going to drop the Sky Theater Strix. Next turn we get to attack with it as a 3/4 because we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it is going to get to +1/+0 till end of turn. I guess a 3/3, not a 3/4. Honor the Godpharaoh. They're back to 2 power for the Parhelion Patrol. Or just the Parhelion itself, not the patrol. Bioessence Hydra. It's not really... It's not much. It's honest work. I guess I should, yet again, probably just attack pre-combat just in case of something weird. Or attacked pre-casting spells. Arlen is pretty exceptional now, because now we've got the Bioessence Hydra out as well. What else do we even have? We have a Vraska in this deck as well. We haven't played a Vraska any game. Ward Scale Crocodile, Thundering Ceratok. Some big stuff. We also have some small stuff left over, that's for sure. Like Casmida's Transmutation. Cannot crew, or cannot enchant a vehicle, unfortunately, and obviously the vehicle's only going to be a creature during their turn, so this doesn't do anything against the only card we're worried about, really. Jaya's Greeting to kill the flyer and scry 1 to the top. It's any creature with power 2 or more, we lose on the spot. And the fact that they scryed it to the top makes me feel like it is, because otherwise I think you just scry away anything that isn't a creature at this point. Unless it's a removal spell. That's actually good news. Never mind. That's 4 power. Never mind, they just had both. Yeah, that wasn't a particularly fun matchup, but our opponent did have a good, well-drafted control deck. Just a mountain of removal. They even had a Wrath effect and then an absolute Mega Bomb to end the game. Even one of their lands being a removal spell. We misplayed a little bit during the match, but nothing that we could have won the game with had we not done. But definitely the kind of stuff that we need to be more patient and accurate with. Just the things like waiting until main phase 2 to cast the Narset there. That way we get in for 2 damage even if they do Blast Zone the both of them. And if we chose something else on the single combat, something that wasn't mana cost 3, then they would not be able to kill both of our creatures there. But then we also wouldn't have had a flyer, and if we didn't have a flyer, all of a sudden they can just trade, block with a 1/2 and a 1/1, trade their 1/2 into my 2/2. So I think keeping the flyer was still correct, even though it would give them another 3 mana card to blow up with Blast Zone. But we did definitely miss out on 2 damage. Well, I'll keep this because Callous Dismissal to slow them down. If we hit a swamp or forest, we have a Vraska coming up. The Spark Reaper's a bit awkward. We do need specifically black mana for that. And that may not happen. New Horizons is a fantastic draw. That helps this hand a lot. Now we can cast pretty much anything on our deck. And we've drawn into some of our bombiest stuff, Arlen and Plane-Wide Celebration. If we can get Arlen and Vraska out when we Plane-Wide Celebration, that'll be beautiful. Even just Arlen and Plane-Wide Celebration, because if we get enough wolves out of Arlen, they all come into play with +1/+1 counters. And obviously we can proliferate onto those. So that'd be pretty good. So we can Callous Dismissal their ground creature. just to kill it and get a little blocker of our own, or we can New Horizons just to set up our next turns. Even Eternal is really annoying against our flyers, but it's not a great target to try to bounce, because then they do get to amass again. I think I'll just set up a New Horizons here. I don't think Callous Dismissal's particularly great right now. Sure, we get to kill their zombie army and make one of our own, but we're killing a 1/1, and they could amass more and we could kill something bigger later. We do have 5 mana now, so we can cast Ward Scale Crocodile, get a 5/3 Hexproof out, but all that is going to do is trade with a Spellgorger Weird. So that doesn't seem lovely. We could also play Spark Reaper and Callous Dismissal. That's probably the best we got. Spark Reaper can block their zombie army pretty easily, and actually bouncing the Spellgorger Weird does slow them down quite a bit. They have to recast that. They don't get any value from recasting that like they do with Aven Eternal. Okay, I suppose they just have another Aven Eternal to get that value there. We do have the 6 mana for the Arlen, but they have 2 flyers out now to just shoot any of our Planeswalkers for 4, or just hit us for 4. So, Planeswalkers are looking pretty rough against these flyers. Yeah, Arlen goes to 5 immediately if they attack her with 2 Aven Eternals. Then she goes to too low of a loyalty to do anything. She goes to 1 loyalty, and we can't minus her with that. So we get a single wolf out of Arlen if we cast her now, but we also get them to attack her. Now this just seems like a very bad time for us. Running up against these flyers here. We obviously do have multiple outs to this. We have double Chasman's Transmutation, double Aven Eternal of our own. Saheeli's Silverwing would be beautiful, being able to block those without even dying. Just have to draw into it, and if we don't, that'll just be this game. Just losing to flyers. Plane-wide Celebration. What does that do here? Get 4 2/2s out and try to just race on the ground at this point. We're dead in 3 hits to the Aven Eternals. We do get to gain life off of Plane-wide Celebration, so maybe this is a game where we're trying to do that. I think we attack with Spark Reaper. Because whatever we play this turn is going to give us a blocker for Dreadhorde Twins. We either get a 3/3 blocker with Arlen, we get 2/2 blockers with Plane-wide Celebration, we get a 1/1 blocker with Vraska. So the attack is definitely happening. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 mana here. I could sacrifice this zombie army to draw a card and cast Vraska in the same turn. That might be okay. Although not great. That does help us try to draw into flying blockers for the Aven Eternal. That might be the plan that we're on. We're just straight trying to draw flying blockers. So, sacrifice this, and worst case scenario, now we just cast Vraska. Best case scenario, we cast an Aven Eternal. Callous Dismissal's not terrible. Actually, it is pretty terrible, because all of these have good enter the battlefield effects. Just amassing them more. Yeah, Callous Dismissal's just... that ain't it. Get a 1/1 Death Toucher here to hold down the ground. Maybe we gain some life off Vraska by having the Aven Eternals attack her instead of us. Here comes the Spellgorger Weird. They are going to send at Vraska here.
Back to the shadows.
Transmutation gets rid of one of the Eternals, so that is a good draw. If I do that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana left, so I can do that in Callous Dismissal, but I can't do that in anything else. If I do that in Callous Dismissal, I just dismissal the Spellgorger again. And I could do that. Actually, yeah, I can Transmutation, Dismissal, and have the 3 mana up to then sacrifice my 1/1 army to Spark Reaper. Next turn. And now they only have 1 flyer left, and that's all I'm worried about. If I can just survive, Plane-wide Celebration can just return all of the Planeswalkers that they shot down, like Arlen and Vraska, obviously, and we can just win by recasting a bunch of Planeswalkers and doing their whole their whole effects all over again. Do I need to draw a card here, or would I rather just have a wider board against the ground troops? Because I think I kind of want to play just Arlen this turn now. I'm going to be at 7. Yeah, I'm not taking damage fast enough to have to sacrifice this army quite yet. Bioessence Hydra could be good if we do that before Arlen or after. It's better if we do it before in terms of the amount of counters that go on it. But we can also just have this out. By the time we Plane-Wide Celebration, we're going to be recasting Planeswalkers, so it's going to be absolutely massive that way as well. I think we go with Arlen, because she's going to slow them down, because they're going to get redirected to Arlen again, instead of damaging our face here. At least I think. And we should have plenty of good enough creatures on the ground to block that way, even without the Hydra. Jaya. Uh-oh. Jaya does change things quite a bit. All of their red cards now get +1 damage added. So they have a 3-2, a 3-3, and a 4-3 instead. And they get to do 2 to any target. Just get rid of the Death Toucher there. That's very horrible for us. I'm just going to go at our face with everything. Interesting. Everything except Spellwords are weird. Alright, well, obviously it's a 3-2 and a 3-3 here. So, we are unfortunately just trading both of these, but I think we have to. Keep Arlen on the board here. Now Bioessence Hydra is going to be quite big, and Arlen will give us another blocker. Erratic Visionary will give us another blocker. We've got plenty of blockers on the ground, but we are taking 4 in the sky now. We take 2 from Eternal and 2 more from Jaya, just doing 2 to us. But we've got the ground locked up. So it's about time we're going to use a Plane-Wide Celebration. Probably just gaining a bunch of life at this point.
How it's done.
Unless they have a Heartfire here to just finish us. That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. So obviously you could argue that it was a misplay to not just go with Plane-Wide Celebration immediately. But I think even if we did Plane-Wide Celebration, we gain a good chunk of life, get back the Planeswalkers. We're still needing to... I guess we pick up Chasm Transmutation, actually, don't we? But we can't recast it immediately, so they still hit us with Aven Eternal that turn. Yeah, maybe we're supposed to just go with Plane-Wide earlier. But still definitely a heck of a lineup to put us from 7 to 0 there. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20. But it does feel pretty rough. So we are 1 and 2 there. Definitely on the back foot all game there. Just desperately scrambling to stabilize. Yeah, the mana situation in this deck has been pretty poor all around. Definitely too greedy of a deck for my tastes. But I don't do these sort of strategies super often, so give it a shot every now and then. I think this is probably unkeepable. We really need mana, and we really need specifically green mana, so I think I have to mulligan that. This is just as bad, arguably. I guess I can just get rid of New Horizons, and then if we hit any land, we can cast everything in this hand. Alright, well, hit all 3 colors here, and that is definitely something. That is certainly a start. Gateway Plaza starting things off for our opponent that taps for a mana of any color, so they certainly have any color they need as well. Could transmutation, there's Spark Reaper. Then I can actually keep attacking here. I don't think that's worth it. Again, I just don't think we're that aggressive. Although shutting off its ability would be pretty good, because if we do use transmutation on a creature later, they can at least sacrifice it and gain life, draw a card off of it. If they have Spark Reaper out. So if we get rid of that, at least we're stopping like that kind of stuff from happening. Our opponent has all of the colors of the rainbow available here. Herald of the Dreadhorde it is going to be. We have 4 mana, but we don't have double blue, so we only get to cast 1 spell this turn. I guess we could cast Kiora and then cast another spell. Yeah, it seems fine.
Let's dive right. Let's get moving.
Herald of the Dreadhorde is pretty good on this board, because it is going to trade into something and leave a creature behind. So that's not great for us. Probably just not planning on blocking the Herald anytime soon. Whatever it goes for, if it attacks me or if it attacks Kiora. Kiora's got 6 loyalty, so she can take a hit here. These are the Scorpion. Going to make all of their zombie armies Death Touch. And give them the 1/1 zombie army. Get the amass rolling. No attacks? Alright. I think I'm going to use an Erratic Visionary, and I'm going to use it main phase here in case I draw like a good 2 mana card. Not super likely. Bioessence Hydra's the draw. Pretty great with Kiora, but I don't have the mana to play it immediately, so I think I'll hold off. I could actually Chasminus Transmutation on the Herald, stop its ability from coming in, just make it a 1/1, but they already aren't attacking with it, so hopefully they just keep that up. Like, if Herald's just not planning on attacking anytime soon, then we're not worried about it. They have 2 mana up. I wonder what they're holding on here in our end step. If they don't touch Kiora at all, then the Bioessence Hydra is going to be beautiful next turn. It's going to draw us a card and come in as a 9/9. Looks like a Heartfire was what they were holding, just going to kill one of our Spark Reapers there. If they hit Kiora here, they're probably just hitting for her for 3, which isn't the end of the world. We'll still draw a card off of playing the Hydra and make a 7/7 at least. So we'll still go for the Hydra. I guess if we don't draw a basic land, then we will need to untap land with Kiora's ability, so Kiora would be down to 2 instead of 3, and Bioessence would just come in as a 6/6. Still solid. Dreadhorde Arcanist here. Good if they can pump it up in any way, otherwise it's not really doing anything. They have a 2 mana instant in their graveyard, so if they have this attack when it has 2 or more power, then they can recast Heartfire. But they'll obviously need an external way to put +1/+1 counters on that or something. Oh, they're going to attack me? I'll absolutely take it. That makes me happy. That means that my Bioessence Hydra is going to be larger. And we draw into an Aven Eternal. Yeah, that's not the play here. Just make a big old Bioessence Hydra. And draw a card.
I love to make a splash.
Come on, big dork. Please don't have no escape here. The 3 mana blue counter spell. Alright, they don't have that, but they could very well still have a Spark Harvest or something. Just kill the Bioessence Hydra now that it's hit the board. We're not going to block with Sky Theater Strix, so we can start poking them for 1. Teferi's Time Twist. Alright, that's certainly a way to do it. Return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. They did it during the end step, so it'll come back during their end step, so at least they missed the chance to do that, so they don't get to attack with it this turn. But it is going to come out as a 2-2, which means that it does get to attack and start casting these things from their grave. Or not a 2-2, but a 2-power creature. So Dreadhorde Arcanist is certainly going to get some work done then, as a 2-power creature. We could... Callous Dismissal, alright. I was going to say, we could Chasm-This Transmutation that... to stop them from recasting stuff. And we might, because now we know they get to like recast a Callous Dismissal on us and stuff, which is not great for us. I think we let him hit Kiora. The Bioessence Hydra is definitely going to get smaller this time, but that's okay as long as we're still drawing a card off of her. She can go to 2.
You're making me crabby.
So do we just let them Callous Dismissal again? Actually, I can cast this, and I can cast Chasm-This Transmutation. So we cast this, we draw our card, land, and untap one of our lands, and then we can... Even Callous Dismissal now makes Dreadhorde Arcanist just a 1-power thing, which is fine as well. I think I'll go for that, actually. Gives us another blocker. Make Kiora a little safer, since she is down to 1 loyalty. They do have to attack her with absolutely everything to kill her now, and obviously I have good blocks at this point, so it would force them into a bad attack to kill her. We trade my 1-1 that doesn't have Death Touch for their 1-1 with Death Touch. We block and kill Spark Reaper with our... actually, no, we block and kill Herald of the Dreadhorde with our 6-6. And Vizier with our 1-3, or Spark Reaper with our 1-3 and 2-3. Either way, we have great blocks if they try to assassinate Kiora. And tapping down Erratic Visionary means that now they just can't kill her, even if they attack all at her. We can block just all the creatures. Trying to close this game out with flyers, I think, with our Sky Theater Strix and our Aven Eternal. With the Death Toucher on their field, it's unlikely that Bioessence Hydra is going to be getting in. Unless they attack with it here. I think even then, they could stack up a pretty good just multi-block. I don't actually think I want like a 2-2 zombie army, so I'm actually going to sacrifice that to my Spark Reaper and then play Aven Eternal. And I'm going to do it pre-combat in case I draw a good non-creature spell to cast for the Sky Theater Strix to get an additional power. Probably just casting Aven Eternal, though. Yeah, definitely if we hit a land. So we'll do that. Post-combat, I gotta get more diligent about that. Hit for 1. Get plenty of blockers out. And another attacker in the sky. I love that at any point we could just minus Kiora and let her die, but I really don't want to do that. We still have some power for greater creatures in this deck, not a lot, but it can happen. Death Toucher coming for Kiora. We'll trade our 1-1 with their 1-1. That's a trade up because our 1-1 doesn't have any good abilities. They're just going to sacrifice their Spark Reaper now, draw a card. Possibly. They were looking at their Spark Reapers, that's an option. They could sacrifice Herald of the Dreadhorde to the Spark Reaper as well, but then I'm trading my 1/1 up into Herald of the Dreadhorde, so that's also fine. Ward Scale Crocodile, alright, drew a card to draw off of Kiora. I'll have 3 mana left afterwards, so I think... Yeah, I think I do this pre-combat in case I draw 3 or less creature spell. I kind of wanted to hold up double blue in case I drew Narset. But then I just like gave up and let Auto Tapper do its thing. Didn't matter, drew a 4 mana card, so obviously not going to cast that here. Down to 20 cards in our deck. So we're only halfway through. We got a lot of stuff left in there to play around with. I like having Spark Reaper mana up. So if they do go on a Kiora assassination mission, we can just sacrifice her and draw a card. Or if they throw a removal spell at anything, they throw a removal spell at Bioessence Hydra, and we're mildly less sad than we would have been otherwise, although we are still sad. Although if they have removal, they probably got to throw it at Aven Eternal at this point. Just the biggest flyer. Triple red, what is this? I guess they're just making sure the auto tapper doesn't do something dumb. Probably doesn't actually mean they have a triple red card. Yeah, here comes the Spark Reaper. Sure thing. They've already got access to that powerful ability, so this just puts another 2/3 on their board. Two more cards in their hand. Looks like our opponent is just on the Nicol Bolas colors. Just the classic Grixis. This Gateway Plaza has not produced any white or green mana all game. So, not doing the full Rainbow Dream. No Prismatic Bridges here. Stealth Mission, that's incredible with Dreadhorde Arcanist, actually. It's permanently at least 3 power. It's unblockable this turn, so it gets to assassinate Kiora, and they also get to cast just any instant or sorcery from their grave, probably Callous Dismissal on the Bioessence Hydra, because they don't want to Callous Dismissal Aven Eternal. Maybe they do it on Sky Theater Strix, because they do probably want to slow down our flyers. But I guess, you know, amassing one on this board, it's so cluttered up that amassing one on this board isn't that good, so they probably actually still would be interested in Callous Dismissing our Aven Eternal. We'll see. They may even Heartfire it. Actually seems more likely. Heartfire, just like sacrifice a Herald or something. What is this here? Certainly have a lot of different lines they can take because essentially their whole graveyard is now available. They can cast one of these spells. All of which would be solid here. They're going to go for the Callous Dismissal. Sending the Herald at Kiora. I guess bouncing the Bioessence Hydra. See, they know they get to hit me for 3. But I can block the Herald and just keep Kiora. I don't have a great block to kill it, so maybe I chump it with a 1/1. Or do I just let it happen? No, I don't let it happen, because I just got Bioessence Hydra back in my hand, so now I get to draw another card off Kiora. That's super worth blocking, because I draw another card off of this. Yeah, I guess I could have blocked with a 1-1 and a 1-3. That actually probably would have been better than sacrificing. Didn't even think about double blocking. I don't know why. Plain White Celebration. Well, that will be absolutely beautiful in the future. For now, I'm pretty cool with Bioessence Hydra. I even get to cast a Vraska after the Bioessence Hydra. But if I do that, I don't get to Transmutation and shut off Arcanist, and I think it's probably important to shut off Arcanist, because if I don't, they just Stealth Mission it again, all of a sudden it's 5 power. They still have access to Heartfire and all that nonsense. Yeah, we're just going to Transmutation that thing and not worry about it. It is still a 3-3, but it doesn't have its abilities anymore. We hit for 4 now, they go down to 9. We only have 2 mana up, so we can't sacrifice Kiora to draw a card. Could have tapped out better there if I didn't let the auto tapper just go for it. We could have had a blue mana up so we could use Erratic Visionary's ability. We should basically always be looting when we have the mana to do so. That being said, I really like all 3 of these cards, so I would be really sad to have to discard any of these. But a lot of the pros say that it would still be objectively right to just loot, even in situations like this. Because even if we're just upgrading our second best card in our deck to our best card in our deck, it was worth the loot. So like upgrading a... Actually, I don't know. These are probably the top 3 cards in our deck. No, Arlen's a bit better. So like upgrading Vraska into Arlen or something like that. I guess especially because Plain Wide Celebration can pick things up from our graveyard. We're really good to loot here because it could just pick up whatever we discarded eventually if we were that sad about it. We should be using Erratic Visionary's ability every opportunity. And had I not auto-tapped, I would have the opportunity here. Interesting. I wonder what... Never mind. Opponent's probably just thinking out loud here, looking at the attacks as they're presented on board. Just going through their options. Yeah. So we have 9 mana up. Probably just dump some Planeswalkers out and just have a dummy thick Bioessence Hydra. That just sounds hilarious to me. I've reached the point. I don't really even want to do the math on if this is the right play, because it's just incredible. It's probably not because they have a Death Toucher, but I want to see how thick I can make this Bioessence Hydra.
Present and future.
That just sounds incredible. Oh my god, it's a 10-10 now, or it's going to be a 15-15? Oh my god, let's go. Alright, this is kind of the dream. I guess if all they block it with is the 1-1 Death Toucher, we kill them with Trample. Yes, they have to like throw more stuff at it just to stop more damage. Oh, we're living it up here. That's for sure.
And prepare.
Oh my god, we can even kill their Death Toucher now. Arlen's so good though, but not right now. We can kill the Death Toucher and then just... Big sad day for our opponent. That might even be lethal, this thing's so massive. Just like unloaded a dump truck on our opponent here. If they don't have an instant speed removal spell. They can sacrifice Herald of the Dreadhorde to a Spark Reaper and get a 2/2 zombie army out of that, which I didn't consider, but that would require them lowering the amount of creatures they have, and then they do still take the trample damage, so again, it is still worth the attack, although the fact that they can do that means I probably should have just grabbed Arlen and just accepted Bioessence Hydra's fate, because Bioessence Hydra still dies if they sacrifice Herald of the Dreadhorde and get another zombie token. Be a lot cooler if it didn't, but it is going to die. And we'll just Plain Wide Celebration and everyone will rejoice and have a happy time. If our opponent doesn't just die to the flyers. Which is also pretty possible because we're attacking for 6 flying here. Yeah, they have to stop all but 4. They have to stop all but 3 damage from Bioessence Hydra. I only have to get through for 4 to kill them. And they have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 toughness. They have enough blockers to survive it, but they have to block it with a ton of creatures. So they can make the Death Toucher to make that block, but they also have to send a ton of other stuff to block it as well. Which actually means I think if we just sent all out, sent in like the Crocodile as well, that might be better. Although I think they could still probably block into it. And then they get to block Dreadhorde Arcanist on the Ward Scale Crocodile. Maybe an all attack would be lethal. This is a lot of math. It certainly couldn't go that poorly for us. And it could maybe be lethal, so it's probably worth just slapping that button. Alright, we're just going to throw the damage wherever it stacks it here. Oh, that's 4 to their face. That's lethal. Oh, wait, no, they gained 1 life off of the Spark Reaper. So they go to 1. But they're down to just about no creatures. Bioessence Hydra really just going for it there. And they're at 1 life against multiple flyers, one of which has 1 power, one has 2. So even if they gain some life off of Spark Reaper, can still get in for 3 in the sky. That would be if they gained life off of Spark Reaper and got more blockers. I think we got there this time. Don't know if we earned it. We definitely just did some silly stuff that our deck was capable of. Dreadhorde Butcher. It's going to do 1 damage to something when it dies. We'll gain them a life and draw them a card, obviously, off of the Spark Reaper's effect. The 1 damage is not going to do anything crazy. It does kill my Death Toucher, but their creatures are all so small that I don't think the Death Toucher particularly matters here. We'll see. Again, I'm pretty sure we just have well over lethal this turn. Probably had it last turn as well. Spark Harvest to kill Narset. Alright, just send a message.
I was not prepared for this.
Now we know that they don't have anything fancy in their hand, they just have the Spark Reaper Dreadhorde Butcher, so we definitely know we're good for the all attack. They just want to do what they can. Start eliminating some of our stuff. Sacrifice the Spark Reaper to itself, I like the play. And here goes the concession. Whew, alright. This is a slow deck, definitely lending itself to a long draft, that's for sure. Let's see what our record is at this point. I think we're like 2-2, but I could be wrong. We may have not played as many games as I thought. Yep, 2-2. Any loss does kick us out of this draft, and I would like to hit at least 4 wins, so it's time to rally. Let's not get any more losses after this. Go from a 1-2 into a 7-2, shall we? It's possible. My biggest worry is just the mana situation. I am sure that our deck is very capable of just losing games from just not drawing the right colors of mana in the early turns, and just losing very quickly in that sense. So that is my biggest fear. And we do have the Bioessence Hydra colors. We've got Erratic Visionary on turn 2 and a removal spell. I'll keep this. This is one of the reasons that Transmutation is one of the weaker removal spells, is because it just can't deal with like zombie armies, like we were seeing last game. But usually it'll have something it can mitigate. Merfolk Skydiver. That's a problem. Could turn into a 2/2 on the ground, and then I don't have to worry about its proliferate effect anymore, and I don't have to worry about it sniping our Narset from the sky. I think I will do that, because I really want to cast Narset, and I want to get my full value out of this Narset and actually draw 2 cards out of her, and keep her on the board for once. We'll see if that's even possible. Definitely doesn't feel like it. Well, it's not possible if I just play her right here, because then they attack her with both. Erratic Visionary doesn't kill either of these, so I'll go for a New Horizons. Now we can definitely cast Bioessence Hydra next turn, and then we have some big blockers on the ground. Bioessence Hydra might just get removed, but if it doesn't, then we get to cast Narset afterwards, and Bioessence Hydra's a 9/9. Should be pretty great. Here's a Relentless Advance, getting a 3/3 zombie army. Still not going to attack in well against our 2/4. Should have looted there. Definitely missed a loot, but I will drop down a Bioessence Hydra now. Probably would have discarded New Horizons if our next card was any good. And if it's just a land, we just discard the land. They could Spellkeeper Weird just to get back Relentless Advance or just make a real big army. If they want. I doubt that's the play though. Ward Scale Crocodile coming out. Aw, drew Kiora literally immediately after the Bioessence Hydra. That's not really good with the draw aspect of it, but it's 7, so Bioessence is then an 11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have to block it with everything, and then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We kill all but one of their creatures. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kill everything but Skydiver. Yeah, that's worth. That is so worth it. We could actually even cast Narset here, but then we don't have any blockers left. You know what? Just go nuts.
Ripples and groans. My prowess is unmatched by my peers. Hone your prowess.
Draw an Arlen as well? If they don't have spot removal for Bioessence Hydra, good lord. And even if they do, they go to 4 here, because trample. So I don't think they want to block, really. I think they'd rather just have these creatures to be able to shoot into planeswalkers. Yeah, go to 4. Oh my god. Oh my god. And they just have Primordial Worm? That's disgusting. Oh my god, now Arlen's gonna come out? It's gonna go to 21?
I will protect my kin with my life.
Oh no. I'll take the victory, but I feel dirty. Oh my god. Just Bioessence, just casual Bioessence Hydra into Kiora, Narset, Arlen in 2 turns. Wow, that was the most disgusting game that I might have in this format, period. Format is definitely not around too much longer. We are switching over to the Core Sets Premier Drafts this Friday. Very excited about that. But yeah, definitely not doing too many more of these War of the Spark drafts, so that might be the cream of the crop right there. That was absolutely disgusting. It's definitely one of those things that you run up against somebody and they do that to you and you're like, okay, I'm done drafting for today. I'll play tomorrow. That was nasty. Alright, well we have Bioessence Hydra again here. We have Callous Dismissal to hold off, maybe give us some time to draw the green. But it is risky. I mean, we have 6 forests, we've got 6 green sources in here. We gotta get lucky here. If we do get lucky though, this hand can obviously go off, just like we saw the last hand go off. Turn 3 New Horizons means we know pretty much we'll get to cast Bioessence Hydra and then Arlen, probably. I am gonna mulligan it though, it is pretty risky. What? I mean, sure. I'll get rid of a Chasm's Transmutation. That card hasn't been particularly good in the early game. keep for a late game hand here. Definitely don't want to get rid of any lands when I have such powerful late game cards like Bioessence Hydra and Arlen, and I think Aven Eternal is definitely better than Chasma's Transmutation to start the game up. We're playing against blue-black here. We did draw Callous Dismissal, another card that I would say is certainly better than the Chasma's Transmutation. So we're drawing quite well so far. Our opponent is on blue-black, starting with a Gleaming Overseer, giving all of their zombies Hexproof and Menace. If we cast Cure, we get to cast Bioessence Hydra next turn, and that's probably worth it. Cure is not going to be that high loyalty, so we're not going to be getting the maximum amount of counters we could possibly get out of the Bioessence Hydra, but we're still going to have a real big Bioessence Hydra, and we're going to draw a card off of it. It's definitely worth it.
I ebb and flow with battle.
And unfortunately, against a blue-black deck, they could have a counterspell or a removal spell for the Hydra pretty easily. We'll see what happens. Certainly hoping for not that. Yep, no escape for the Bioessence Hydra. That'll do it. Could have went for Vraska instead to try to draw that out, but I feel like in blue-black they're pretty likely to just have a bunch of Spark Harvests, so I don't think that Bioessence Hydra is just ever going to survive in this matchup. So, at least if we like get rid of the counterspell for the Bioessence Hydra, then we might be able to have Vraska survive. And Ashiok's kind of unbeatable for our deck. Our deck is really slow. I think, except for last game, literally every game we've won with less than 20 cards in our deck, so Ashiok is just going to kill us. But we can do our best to fight against that. I think the best that we have really is to try to hit that for 2, so that they don't mill us for 20 at least. Yeah, I think we have to play one of our flyers, the Silverwing or the Aven Eternal. If we play Aven Eternal, we can't even block the zombie army anyway because it has Menace, so I think we just play Silverwing. Just an island on top of their deck. Can throw a Totally Lost the Silverwing, okay. And it does kill it with Ashiok, but I think I'm actually happier that Ashiok milled it than I would have been if I had to redraw it. Redrawing it would be pretty rough here. We really want lands. Drawing a 7-drop is rough too. Go for the Aven Eternal here again, really trying to kill Ashiok. We're down to 21 cards in our library already. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries to mill us as well?
Of the mind.
That is the dream team right there. Now we might just not have a chance. Like, we do get to kill Ashiok here, but now Jace is just milling us to a turn and drawing them a card every turn. Which is pretty phenomenal. We have to try to beat an opponent that's drawing twice as many cards as us while getting milled out. Does not seem particularly doable. Should play Vraska here, I guess. Callous Dismissal is pretty bad right now, and that's our only option. We obviously can't cast Bleeding Edge. We don't have any black mana.
I lead the Golgari now. Keep your friends close. Kill your enemies.
Bolas' Citadel. Wow. We were already going to lose this game, but now our opponent just gets to draw a million off of this card. This card is really good. If you want to see it do some crazy things, definitely check out the last War of the Spark draft that I did. We did some fun stuff with that card, and it constantly won the game. If you can get that thing out with like 15 or more life, all of a sudden you just start casting a ton of cards. Just really dump everything on the field. You go to like 4 life to do it, but it's always worth it. Because your opponent just cannot come back from you just like 5 for winning. in a single turn. Yeah, we're just exceptionally dead in a ton of ways here. Our opponent is down to 13 now. Like, it's possible that they fly too close to the sun with this Bolas's Citadel. That's our best hope. So, down to 11 cards. We're dying pretty quickly to the mill. Try to just do as much as we can with the evasive threats we have, I think.
Pirates and I get
So maybe
along
we
because we're
New
not
Horizons,
cutthroats.
make our Aven Eternal a little bigger. They die to 4 more hits from it. It's going to be too long. They could even ultimate Jason that time and draw 7. Do we just slow down the Lazatep Behemoth here? We got like several Death Touchers, so it doesn't seem necessary. Maybe we slow down the Bolas's Citadel? Could slow down the Jace. I feel like anything we bounce, they just recast, so it doesn't really matter. But they do need to recast Bolas's Citadel or Jace more than they need to recast the Behemoth. Yeah, none of this. At this point, like, there's no way we're getting enough of tempo out of this to do much, but there's no reason not to cast it. We're just not going to have time to cast it any other time. So, just do as much as we can with that card here. Maybe give us some more time to not get milled out. We have 5 mana towards Plane-Wide Celebration. We still need 2 more. They've exiled a ton of our lands, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got like 4 more? 4 or 5. Callous Dismissal on the Aven Eternal. Callous Dismissal definitely a lot worse for us than it was for them when we dismissaled their Jace. Maybe they'll go exceptionally low with Bolas's Citadel. Just get real showboaty about it. Cast a 6 mana spell here. They have a Spellkeeper weird. What is their scariest instant sorcery? Totally Lost, no escape, Callous. This will probably just Totally Lost, just slow us down. But I guess they're trying to mill us, so wouldn't do that much. Arlen does nothing here. Their ground creatures are so wide. All we have really is to cast flyers if we can. We can't. They had a no escape on top of their library to spend 3 on. Can't kill anything with Bleeding Edge. All of their creatures that don't have hexproof have more than 2 toughness. But again, kind of have to just cast everything when I can cast it. We need to do stuff as fast as we possibly can here. So, do I just amass 2? -2/-2, nothing here? I probably actually do. Which is embarrassing. Davriel. Davriel's incredibly rude.
For a minute.
Man, our opponent Ashiok into Jaced us. And then they were like, by the way, here's Bolas's Citadel and now Davriel. Opponent definitely has drafted a very good deck. I mean, this is just retribution. This is just because that Bioessence Hydra game. You know that guy, or I'm sorry, that player definitely went to their friends and they were like,
Sorry.
my opponent Bioessence Hydra'd me and then went Narset, Kiora, Arlen. I mean, there's more rares involved with this, with Jason, Bolas' Citadel, though, so I guess it's only one more rare. I'm just going to scoop them up now. I'm going to go ahead and end the draft now. There was no way we were winning this game. Our opponent is down to 4, so, you know, maybe draw a bunch of flyers back with Plane-Wide Celebration, but didn't draw the mana for it. So I can't cast it there anyway. I could just cast Transmutation, so we just don't cast Transmutation there. They then make us discard a card again. We discard Transmutation, then we mill more. Go to 5 cards in library. Yeah, it's not happening. They also have their Spellkeeper weird to just pick up a counter spell back from their grave anyway. Well, that is going to end today's draft 3 and 3 for this premiere draft of War of the Spark. Maybe the final premiere draft of War of the Spark. I'm doing kind of a batch recording session right now, so I'm not sure if this is going up, or when this is going up, if this is the last one going up or anything like that, because I haven't done the math on it. I do the math when I set them all, schedule them to upload, and all of that. But definitely, I don't know what day it is when you're watching this, but certainly we are going to be doing premiere drafts.
I will defend the weak at every opportunity.
Of the new core sets format on Friday. I'm very pumped about that. The way that works is 1 booster pack of M21, 1 booster pack of M20, and 1 pack of M19. So it is a fresh new format. They've never drafted those 3 together before. They were all drafted by themselves like any other draft format is nowadays. So mixing all 3 together is going to lead to its own more interesting, a little more random kind of format, just in the fact that you're really never going to run up against the exact same cards multiple times in a row. You've got 3 sets at your disposal, 3 complete core sets to draft from. So I highly doubt you ever see like the same bomb twice in a row or anything like that. Whereas obviously when you're drafting any self-contained set, like just War of the Spark, you can definitely run up against Bolas' Citadel twice in a row. I mean, it happens. So yeah, that is going to end today's draft. As always, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to stick around, like, comment, subscribe, all of those things if you want YouTube to go ahead and recommend you more of these videos in the algorithm. And yeah, I do stream occasionally on Twitch with the link in description if you're interested in catching me live. I do that for every early access event whenever the newest set comes out, and then occasionally at other times when I feel like it. So, as always, thank you very much for watching yet again, and I'll see you all again for some more Magic Arena content tomorrow.